Hello everyone, Ryan here. In Utero by Nirvana. It's the third studio album from Nirvana. Also, their final one was released sometime in 1993. And now I know I can already hear some fellow metalheads out there saying, dude, Nirvana sucks. But hey, I mean, when it comes to the albums that I review, I've said it a couple times before, I believe that I don't plan on just reviewing nothing but metal bands or rock bands or, all genres really, I mean. So, but anyways, I'll give the track listing here, talk about my favorites and all that. So, first track off this album is titled Serve the Servants. Second is Senseless Apprentice. Third is Heart-Shaped Box. 4, Rape Me. 5, Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge on Seattle. 6 is Dumb. 7 is Very Ape. 8 is Milk It. 9 is Penny Royalty. 10, Radio Friendly Unit Shifter. 11 is Tourette's. 12, All Apologies. That's the last track. So, as far as my favorites go, I will say that I like the song Senseless Apprentice. This is one of the few Nirvana songs in which I actually like the guitar riffs and the guitar riffs and drums. I also liked Heart-Shaped Box. As far as like the other songs on here, I like Very Ape and Penny Royalty, and obviously the last track, All Apologies. And as for like everything else, like I know that this is, of course, the last album they did before Kurt Cobain's death or suicide, or, there's a lot of conspiracies surrounding that. I've seen several documentary-style movies about all the different things surrounding his death, and all I will say is that to me, it definitely seems like, for whatever reason, the police ignored a lot of evidence, and, it's... Whereas when you compare it to, like, other homicides, murders, deaths, suicides, and, usually the police, like, investigate at least somewhat thoroughly, but I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I'm just saying, based on everything that I've seen and then also read about, and yeah, there's a lot of evidence overlooked, so I'll leave it at that. But getting back to this album, I kind of liked Kurt Cobain's guitar tone, his sound, and except for me, like, I felt like on some songs, like when it comes to this album, his playing style, like, to me, it always had that, like, raw, distorted kind of sound to it, and, grungy, technically. But obviously, he wasn't a technical guitar player. And I know, like, back then, still to this day, there's a lot of, like, really awesome guitar players that, still seem, like, somewhat, I don't know, resentful or, like, somewhat jealous that Nirvana became as popular as they did, and because of the fact that Kurt Cobain wasn't a technical guitar player. And then add to that, during a lot of their live performances, it seemed like he would either mess up on purpose, or it was, I don't know if it was like half because he would do it on purpose. then the rest of the time, because he was like so stoned out of his mind that he just, would lose track of, where he was as far as like during what part of each song. And so yeah, and then because of that, he got a lot of flack from a lot of metal bands and other guitar players who were obviously, technically much more advanced players than he was. But at the same time, like, I feel like I know in one of the documentaries that I had seen about him a while ago, I know there was one point when he mentioned to a producer in the studio that he intentionally made his songs as simple as possible because he wanted them to be like so simple that they almost sounded like nursery rhymes, and which kind of made sense because of the fact that, you think about how many of Nirvana's songs, just the ones that are played on the radio a lot, how simple those are, and the fact that they became so popular, mostly just because they're so easy to hum along to. And so, it depends. Everybody has their own personal taste. Some people like to listen to very, very simple, easy to remember kind of stuff. Other people like to listen to a lot of very technical kind of stuff, stuff that you can't really move along to or hum to, or, this is different strokes for different folks. That's what I say. As far as like any other aspects of this album or Nirvana's overall sound, I do like Dave Grohl's drumming. I think I've always been a fan of Dave Grohl when it comes to his drumming technique and whatnot. And the bass player, Chris Novoselic, I wasn't pronouncing his name correctly, but basically they're also pretty good. In my opinion, I would say that, Dave Grohl and Chris as the rhythm section of Nirvana are definitely awesome. But I gotta admit that, there's a lot of times when I felt like, not so much when it comes to their studio albums, but like all the live stuff that they did, all the live stuff that has been recorded. There are a lot of times when I felt like, to me, like it sounded like that Kurt Cobain was like already off in this whole other world of, he's already like off in his own mind. And so, eventually got to the point where to me, it seemed like no longer had an interest in doing anything with the band, and which I guess makes sense to a certain extent, But yeah, I don't know. It's as far as like anything. I don't know what else to say about this, because Nirvana is one of those bands where, again, their songs are like really simple, straightforward. There's not a whole lot of technicality to them. Doesn't even really seem to be like that much extra stuff added to the songs. Maybe little bits and pieces here and there, like a little bit of extra distortion here and there, a little bit of extra vocal track. But still, overall sounds very raw, and I guess that's to be expected when it comes to a grunge band. Yeah. As far as the rating goes, I guess I'll give this album I guess I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah. And I was listening to it in my car, and then it seemed to me like some of the songs are good, to listen to while driving around, but others not so much. So, but hey, I don't know. I'm not a big Nirvana fan, so maybe I just gotta listen to it a couple more times. So, but overall, it's pretty much what I expected from Nirvana, from a grunge band. So, yeah. So that'll do it. Once again, I do give it 4 out of 5 stars. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching this. And as always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.